This is source file 17 LoaderMax demo, and this accompanies part 1 of Meet LoaderMax. And this is a queue loading example that will load 20 images, and the first thing you'll see when I publish this file is a loading process. And what's going on here is two things, loading an XML file that will create all of the loaders, and loading the 20 thumbnails that you see. They will serve as buttons for us to prioritize individual full-size loads later on. Each asset on screen has a progress bar beneath it to demonstrate the loading progress of that individual asset. And then down here in the lower left corner of the file is an overall loading progress that represents the loading progress of the queue. Now obviously we'll be able to load these assets, and I'll also demonstrate pausing and resuming and unloading, but we'll also demonstrate the max connections property and changing the priority of each asset on the fly. So here's the loading process, and then I'll be able to pause it. I'm actually using a 20 megabit per second connection here, so this is happening very quickly. And then I can resume the process, and then also unload the assets. Now, right now the max connections are set for 2, so ideally you'll see these assets load in pairs. Again, it will happen quickly, but hopefully you'll be able to notice what's going on here. And if I change that value, let's say I change it to 1, for example, I can show you that only a single asset loads at a time, and I could change it to 4, and you'll see that 4 assets begin to load, and that actually happened on the fly. Let's also demonstrate prioritizing. As I begin to load, I can change the priority so that these are included, and you saw that last item jump to the front of the queue, and then once it was fully loaded, the rest began to load in. So as you can see, you have a lot of features available to you, and these are just the basic features when loading a queue of assets, and we'll take a look at this code a little bit later on in the presentation.